we will start the Hamilton Buddhist Temple's December monthly memorial Shotsuki service with Kansho.
Welcome to the Hamilton Buddhist Temple online service. Today we are celebrating Bodhi Day as well as the monthly Shotsuki service where we remember our loved ones who have passed on. We are pleased to have Yoshi Sensei from the Toronto Buddhist Church presiding. My name is April Takeda. I am your master of ceremonies for today. Bodhi Day is the annual observance of the day the Buddha attained enlightenment. The word Bodhi means awakening or enlightenment in Sanskrit. Please note that today's service is being recorded. This allows people who are unable to attend today to watch later. Only the service portion itself will be posted online. And now, if you can put your hands together, we're going to have some quiet meditation.
Please open your eyes and please join me Gassho, placing your palms together. We recite Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Today we will read Noble Eightfold Path. The teachings of the Buddha help us to understand the oneness of all life, to lead us in the right direction. The Buddha provided us with the Eightfold Path. And please read with me. Right view, to keep free to prejudice and superstition and to see the true nature of life. Right thought, to turn our mind away from violence and hatred. Right speech, to refrain from harmful talk and to use our words wisely. Right conduct, to see that our deeds come from peace and goodwill, to grow every day in the Buddha's teachings. Right livelihood, to try to earn our living in such a way that we avoid causing suffering. Right energy, to use our energies to promote the overcoming of ignorance and destructive desires. Right mindfulness. To cherish a good mind, for all that we think and do has its roots in the mind. Right meditation. To study the teachings of the Buddha and to practice them to the best of our abilities. May the presence of the Buddha, who said that he would live in his teachings, be our guide. May we follow this path until we, too, realize nirvana.
So for this month, we have the Shotsuki service, and we remember the following who have passed away in the month of December. Hashimoto Sam, 2011, Sakata Masaya, 2007, Uchida Dewey, 2006, Suji Tsunichi, 1997, Moroto Masa, 1985, Yamamoto Yamatoshi, 1971, Tonogai Tomi, 1970, Hikeda Gehi, 1970, Hayashi Hikosaku, 1966, Tonogai Reimon, 1963, Kitamura Muto, 1962, Nishizaki Misao, 1961. And now Sensei will lead us with Jusan.
Sorry, thank you, April. Today we will chant Jusan. Yorai kouse shishou seken kidoku saisho shimen den And I believe today we will start chanting Sambutsu Ge. If you have the obutsudan, please start offering incense. 法有言義義異人無語行税名無用当社日学魔人修行遠慮開始音平有脈十目如来予言調整無輪小学大王ゴルジポ開門精進三昧知恵意徳無量修正敬具人体前年小文法会具自人論具語外体無明欲ぬ世尊読む人の心死人徳無量空君広大知恵人妙光明異尊神道大聖願がサブ在所法華道生じ民不下段不正上位会に生じ行税三昧知恵以上公正徳部不良志願一切空空一切大安決しうぶ百千億万無量大小修行語者供養一切死と勝負不尿具道継承不逆非尿語者勝負世界不不影無種聖道光明師匠変身証拠行税生じ維持難量量が差分国土大五種奇妙道場超然国女内音二無闘争ガトウアイミン道楽一切ジポ 来所新年少女糸がこ下落公文神妙是が新書本願の日力書所用自母生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信用軽量心死食毒中が行小人人寿不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしくどく平等聖祭道本菩提心往生南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。ナマンダ仏。ナマンダ仏。ナマンダ仏。ナマンダ仏。
And we will now have Yoshi Sensei to give his Dharma talk.
Good morning, everyone. And nice to see you again. Today we are here for the Shotsuki monthly memorial service of December and Bodhi Day. So Shakyamuni Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha became a Shakyamuni Buddha over like 2,500 years ago in the north side of India on December 8th. So Buddha means awakening or enlightenment. So last Sunday, there was Kids Sangha, Buddhist service for the children at the Toronto Buddhist Church. And I and Joan Sensei asked the children, what is the difference when you sleep or when you're waking up? So what is the difference? And they say, oh, I can see the light when I wake up, or I can smell something when I wake up, or I can hear something when I wake up. So that means when they take a nap or when they sleep, our five senses doesn't work well. So, but when we wake up, we can feel, or we can hear, we can smell, we can look, something. Yeah. So, but in Buddhism, even though we are waking up physically, Buddha said, you are still taking a nap or sleep because we don't see the truth of life. So it's kind of our eyes are blanked by our deep desires or attachment. So, but Buddha leave the attachment or his own desires, and we call it Godamashitata was waking up or enlightenment. So there's a light. So, and because Godamashitata know or knew or realized the truth of life, or he realized all the suffering is from his own desires, not outside. So anyway, last week, 2 weeks ago, 25 high school students visited our temple to learn about Buddhism. So before pandemic, usually like 2 or 3 groups from high school visit our temple, but during the pandemic, we canceled or they didn't ask us to visit our temple. So I was so excited when I talked with the teenagers because their imagination is beyond their question is beyond my imagination sometimes. And I really love when I said, oh, in Buddhism, we seek or we practice or we meditate or we act like right things to become a Buddha in the Pure Land. Our goal is becoming a Buddha. Then when I say that, like 99%, the students say, will you become a God in the heaven? No, I didn't say God. I said, I will become Buddha in the Pure Land. Then, what is a Pure Land? What is a heaven? What is a Buddha? What is a God? So many questions they have when I talk with them. So I talked to them about general Buddhism teachings mostly. So for example, what is the suffering in Buddhism? What is the suffering for us? And why our life is interdependent and impermanent? And I also talked about our Eightfold Noble Paths. Today we read before chanting. So what is the right view? What is the right meditation? What is the right speech? Yeah. So our service book explains right view is to see the true nature of life. And right meditation is to study the teachings of the Buddha and practice them to the best of our abilities. So after my lecture, there was a time for Q&A, the most exciting time for me. So that student gave me many very interesting and good questions. A student asked about karma, like action. So he wanted to know how he can create good karma. So I asked him why he wants to know the good karma. And he said because he believed good karma makes good luck in his life. So, but he wondered what is good and bad in Buddhism. So in other words, he was curious about how Buddhists decides or judges what is good or bad. So that was really good question because many of us, even Buddhists, also misunderstand what is karma sometimes. So some of you may believe the good heart or good heart mind makes good karma, and good karma makes a good result in our life, like that student. But in the teachings of the Buddha, they don't talk about good and bad from the perspective of human beings. This is very important to know. Like, of course, teaching of the Buddha says what is right and what is not right, and what is good, what is bad. However, the teachings doesn't say or doesn't talk about good and bad from the perspective of sentient beings, not from our view, human's view, or human's thought. Yeah, because we are all deeply attached to our own desires, and we are not enlightened to the truth, and we cannot see the true nature of life. And so we cannot judge what is good or bad, or only from our own perspective. So our minds are constantly driven by the greed of worldly desires, and we are unable to see the true nature of life. So that is why I can say it's very dangerous to decide whether things are good or bad based on only our own egocentric and self-centered thinking. Therefore, Buddhism doesn't use simplistic thinking or superficial idea that good deeds brings good result and bad deeds brings bad result. So it's not like really simple. And that the important thing is we shouldn't expect or seek any rewards that good luck will be happen because we created good karma. So I would like to go back to the student question. So he asked me what he can do to create good karma in his daily life. And my answer was to take action with Rita spiritual mind, which is the mind that benefits others and doesn't ask for anything in return. Like sports maker Nike said, just do it. Just do it. So just do it. So, and we should not seek any return from others. So if he think, oh, I did good karma for him, so that's why something happened, good result to me. No, doesn't think about it, just do it. So simply put, if we see someone around us who is in need, we should gently extend our hand to them. And some people may think that is natural or easy to do, easy things. But sometimes this can be a difficult act, especially when we think of good or bad. Let me tell you about my experience in India. When I was 21 years old, I visited India on the backpacking trip with my friend. We visited Buddhist sacred places for 2 weeks. And during the traveling, we met many people in India and Nepal. Most of them were kind, but some of them tried to cheat us out of money. So, especially when I bought banana, they said 50 rupees. I don't know how much, but rupees, 50. Then I said, oh, it's too expensive. How about 10? And then, no, 40. And I said 20. And he said 30. And I said 25. No, I cannot sell it. The banana is 25 rupees. Then when I said, oh, okay, if I cannot buy it 25, I don't need it. And he said, oh, sorry, 10 rupees fine. So I don't know how much they usually sell it. So anyway, so I really enjoyed talking with people in India. But many times, I also saw the children who needed money. And some children begged begged us for money. So a boy asked to give him money because he was hungry. So when I gave him some money, he smiled and ran away to somewhere. But after 5 minutes later, he came back and asked me to give him money again. So I asked him, "What happened? I already gave you." And he said, "Oh, my parents took it to buy the cigarette and the beer." So my friend and I decided to take him to a restaurant so that we could have lunch together, so no one can take his money. So what was unexpected there was my friend and I each ordered one plate of food because it's enough. One plate is enough. But the boy ordered the dishes for 5. So if I didn't say stop it, he might order like for 10 people. So the lunch with him made in the most delicious, most enjoyable, and most filling meal of our trip in India. So, but I had second thoughts when I went back to the hotel. He told me his parents took that money to buy the alcohol and cigarette. But if the money had been used for drugs, so I had thought I have helped and I had created good karma for him. But if my action made people going in the wrong direction, that karma would not be called good. Of course, we should help people. If someone was lost on the street, I gave them directions. If someone could not stand for a long time because of some reasons, I gave my seat on the bus or train. However, even when people asked me for money on the street or at the station, I was not very willing to give them money because of my experience in India. So I don't know what they're gonna use the money. So that's why I was not very willing to give it. But that way of my thinking was changed 3 years ago when I had a visa issue and I was in the financial difficulties. During the visa issue, I was not allowed to go back to Japan or work in Canada, and therefore I had to spend money that I had saved since I coming to Canada, and these savings were almost gone after 1.5 years. So luckily, one of the temple members heard about my situation and offered to lend me the money. So still, I have to pay back to him. So that period of time was hard and tough. But at the same time, it was time for me when I could feel the kindness of their heart. So I think I was very lucky person. But what about the rest of us? Last month, I was asked by a stranger to give him money in front of a hospital. Yeah, in front of a hospital, he asked me to give him money. And as I was rushing to the hospital to hold the bedside service, makuragyo. So unfortunately, I said, "I'm sorry, I'm in hurry. I need to go to the hospital right away." So I walked away. So after the makuragyo, last rite service at the hospital, I saw he was still asking others to give him money to eat. So I gave him the bill that was in my pocket. Then he cried with joy and said, "Now I can have dinner tonight. Thank you," he said. And when I saw his smile, I was happy. But when I saw his tears, I felt a little regret and ashamed as why I had not given him a money when he first spoke to me. So some people walk around in the summer heat to collect money without taking baths for many days. Some people stand for long hours on the road in the cold winter waiting for someone to put money in their coffee cup. And some people are hungry and sit at the station waiting for someone to give them something to eat. And they may use the money to buy alcohol or cigarette that we may not, and they may not spend the money the way we want them to. But we must know they are not like us who have home, electricity, water, gas, and even internet. Many of us invest in the future because we believe there is tomorrow. But for them, it's sometimes important to live today or in that present. So, and I also would like to say one more thing here. I'm not suggesting that we should sacrifice ourselves to help others. In other words, I believe it is important to do what we can when we can to help others. This is because when we sacrifice ourselves, human beings unconsciously want something in return from the other person. So, as I said at the beginning of this Dharma talk, asking or expecting for something in return for something we have done or giving it is not called good karma in Buddhism. Because in Buddhism, we don't talk or decide whether they are good or bad from our own perspective, because we are deeply attached to our desires. Therefore, Buddhism doesn't take simplistic way of thinking or superficial idea that good deeds bring good result and bad deeds brings bad results. And we, in Buddhist, we don't judge any result of various causes and conditions as good or bad, but we practice to see them just as they are. So, and I believe this idea leads us to realize what Buddhism called right view and right meditation of the Eightfold Noble Path. So today I talked about karma and Eightfold Noble Path in Buddhism because of the Buddha enlightened the truth of life. And I want to share the teachings. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sensei. We will now recite the Golden Chain of Love together. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. May I be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. May I think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So now for announcements. On behalf of the Hamilton Buddhist Temple, we would like to thank Yoshi Sensei for today's Dharma talk. It was very timely, and I found it really quite thoughtful. We'd also like to thank the Toronto Buddhist Church for supporting our temple and for providing us with Yoshi Sensei services. We are also grateful for the support from the JSBTC National Board and ministers and temples across Canada. I think this is going to be the last time they're going to do the bell ringing at Ontario Place. It's going to be on New Year's Eve. There's lots of renovations going on Ontario Place, you might have heard. The bell ringing is actually going to be from 4:30 p.m. till 6 p.m., so not at midnight, but Yoshi Sensei will be providing a service there.
Yeah, sorry, April.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's at 6 p.m., but they changed 4:30 to 5:30.
4:30 to 5:30.
Yes.
Okay. So we get that. So they'll finish earlier, which is probably good. And also, I think it's always weather dependent too. So you might always check. But they are asking, and I think it's the Toronto NAJC who've put this onto Eventbrite. So I think they wouldn't mind having some numbers. So if you could reserve a spot on Eventbrite, that would be appreciated by them. Our next service will be online again. Please note that it's going to be on Sunday, January the 8th at 1 p.m. So again, it's an afternoon service, not a morning. So this brings the formal portion of our service to a close. Please put your hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandan, Namandan, Namandan. So, thank you, everyone.